Okay, so this is the prototype thing I've been working on. There is no title screen, so I have the debug screen, the debug title screen. So I'm just gonna go through that. And so let me just look. Okay, so the player is here. Here's the camera. Blah blah blah. It's to reach in the flashlight and stuff. And of course, collision shapes, and the UI is all, because I don't know what I'm doing. The UI is all located inside the player, which I don't know if that's exactly how you're supposed to do it, but that's where I am. So, oh well, this is useless. It does nothing. I don't know why I still have it. So let's go through this thing. Right. So this test level is just testing basic mechanics such as, oh wow, collision boxes, trigger boxes I mean, and pushing cubes and all that. We're never going to see that cube again. And, you know, it's just proofs of concept and doors, but, you know, doors, and there's a console, but there's only like 4 commands, so they're all if statements, so that's horribly built up. And yeah, this is the debug menu. Yeah, it shows you a bunch of shit that's you probably don't even need to see, and probably isn't all that useless to debugging, like RAM use and how many fucking processors you have and the model of your processor. I don't know, but yeah, FPS is there as well, and your key presses and all that. So let me just go over the movement real quick. So by default, your player is running. If you want to sprint, you hold down shift and your speed will go up to 5.5. If you want to walk, you hold down alt, left alt, and your speed will go down to 2.5. And holding down control puts your speed at 2.0 and puts you on the ground and stuff. And yes, this is for a friend of mine, just to verify for him. You can in fact go underneath tables. Ignore that. And the player has a flashlight that is something that is just in the player. That's not something you pick up. That's not something, anything like that. It's just a part of the player. There's a full setting. There's a somewhat full settings menu. I'll fix this later. I really don't know how to fix it right now, but I will fix it later. Volume's a little broken because, as you can see, it says 0, but you know you can still hear stuff. But turning it up, I mean, I think that's all you need to know about that. And known glitch, of course, known bug. If you push resume, you have to double click escape to bring the pause menu back up. So honestly, I am either going to figure out some way to fix that, or just get rid of the resume button. And so the resolution is broken. That doesn't do anything. Or if it's supposed to, then I don't know how. This isn't working for some reason. I do not know why. Because I know for a fact that works. It's probably because it's not in full screen. So let me just do that. Yeah, there we go. So I'll just keep it like that. And of course is anti-aliasing. Put that up and the lines become smoother. I don't even know if you're going to be able to tell that on the recording though. Of course, everyone's favorite temporal anti-aliasing for all the poor people. which it works. Well, it depends on how you define works, but you know. And debanding, yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what that does. Of course, you have FOV go down to 0 or up to 100, and you can reset it to 75. That's the default. FOV, which I'm probably gonna increase the maximum to something like 175 for reasons, and shadow resolution. So goes from terribly low to very high, which, to be honest, I don't even know if that's what I should be calling it. Shadow resolution. I could probably be calling it something else. So let me just set that back to medium. I think that's what it. And sensitivity is a little hard to, like, you know, show, but so sensitivity, you know, how sensitive your mouse is to movement. And wow, that's horrible. Saving and loading, so that's a bit of a enigma there. All it does is save the player's position. It doesn't save the scene, it doesn't save anything about the levels, it doesn't save anything but the coordinates of which the player is at. So you can quit the game, go back in. If you load in the same scene where you saved, oh wow, you're back there, not facing the same direction, but who cares about that? But then if you go into, say, a different level, then load, oh man. Yeah, so I tried to fix that, couldn't figure it out, got very frustrated, and gave up. So that's the player controller. Stuff I intend to change about it. Firstly, it's... My god, there's so much noise happening behind me. First off, it's letting go of movement keys in the air. Gets you a sudden stop. I might look into the player keeping their momentum when they are in the air and when they let go of the key, but I'm not sure how to do that. So, oh wow, I'm probably gonna have to use another tutorial. I don't like... yeah, anyway. Basic environment test is... it says, like... honestly, the name isn't very good. What I wanted to do is, test rain. Yeah. It's not very good, particularly, but, you know, we have, what counts as rain. Roughly counts as rain. It's, you know, not the best, but, again, proof of concept. Light and geometry test. It's just testing light switches and level geometry with CSG boxes. Go under tables. Wow. Oh, it's happened again. So I don't know why this happens, but there are very specific spots in some of these levels, in some of these scenes, where you can just inexplicably clip through the ground, and I don't really know why that is. I've looked into it. I just don't know I just don't know why that happens. And of course, out here there's absolutely nothing. So this is just more light switches. This was made before I changed how light switches worked. But I mean, yeah. Also, I am pressing E to interact with the light switches and the doors. Up until I think it was last week or a couple of days ago, you would actually walk into an area of the switches and doors and they would open or shut off automatically. And now, gameplay test is just, that was a compilation of mechanics up until that point, put into a very short kind of little demo sort of thing, just to test if they were even functional. Test out the flashlight. A little challenge. A player needs to jump over a pit. Interactivity with turning on the lights. Look at all these tables. Go over to this key, or well, it's just a rectangle, but imagine it's a key. I'm sure you have quite the imagination. And then it's a physics puzzle. Push these boxes together to get on top of that platform. And yes, the physics are incredibly janky, but it's the best I can do. So yeah, that's that proof of concept. And just to actually that can come later. So this was the doors, was testing doors. Walk up to door, press E on it, opens, press E on it again, it closes. So because I'm an absolute idiot, these doors work funnily. So there's this collision box. Without this, okay, so when it comes to doors, the way they work is there are two colliders. When the door is closed, this collider is active. When the door is open, this collider is active, and the other one is not. Because without these, when the animations play in which doors open and close, there's no collisions, and I couldn't figure out a way for it to rotate, you know, with the thing. So yeah, that's how that works. And of course, you can't have doors without having doors you can't get through, or supposedly can't get through. Ooh. Anyway, yeah, doors. And this is a couple things. So first of all, dying. That's something that that's something that happens. Which, I don't think that's supposed to happen. Let me check that cube real quick. That cube might be a little too mad, you know? Okay. So it should only really damage you. Oh, so that's why. So there's a bug. Yeah, so let me just fix that real quick. Right. I didn't notice it beforehand, so yeah, the cubes that hurt you, cubes that heal you, when in reality it's just a cube that hurts you but with a negative number, and cubes that hurt you while you're standing inside of them. Of course, bandages, they're way too big, but, you know. Said I make that sound. It's a horrible sound, but whatever. And, let me just heal. Fire, of course, yeah. We have, there's fire. Fire, you do a lot of stuff with fire. So you step into the fire, and it hurts you, and it makes that horrible sound, which, that's the best I could do. 'Cause I'm me, and not something else, a good developer. And then there's just different kinds of fire, of course. And by kinds, I mean it's the same fire, but bigger. And yeah, you know, they do the same thing, they hurt you. Ow. But their hitboxes are bigger, the fire is bigger. Maybe I should make them do different amounts of damage, but you know. Fire. And that just about covers it. So, yeah, I don't really think I need to show any more than that. Unless fucking, unless you little people inside of my screen, for some reason, want to see the code, which, that's not why I'm making this. So, yeah, you go fuck yourself.